Yeah, I think it's recording fast. Recording. Okay, how are you doing? All right, I'm here. I'm Lord Shiva, and I'm here today. I wanted to come on to talk about repeated patterns. That's one of the things I want to talk about. And the other thing I want to talk about was eternity or life and death. History, where you originated from, where you from. I want to shine a little light on that because there's a lot of different information out on the YouTube channel, and get my little token here. So many people, um, I say people is what you're really supposed to be called anyway, because we all are more bloodline bloodline or offsprings with the Pleiadians. And so they were like the beginnings of creation from as far as the mankind, humanoids was concerned. Uh, they were like the first from the gods um, that was created from the primaries. Okay, primaries. So I wanted to shine some light on that because a lot of people, um, let's just say, a lot of information seekers, a lot of truth seekers, a lot of light workers, a lot of um, evolutionists, um, they have a lot of information out and they're all looking and they're all seeking, but they're not seeming to connect the dots where you need to connect dots at. You know how was old saying if the head's messed up, surely the body's messed up. That's true. A very true saying. If the head is messed up, surely the body is messed up. So the thing is that the thing is that you have to know how to travel back to the head, to the beginning. And you're not going to get there if you stay down here in the bottom, circling around. You got to do a due north and straight, straight there, okay? Because you're not going to find the head and the feet. You may add some parts of it. You may stumble upon what direction to go in to get to it. But you're not gonna find the head there. It's not there. And so you need to go back to the head, to the very beginning. And the very beginning is not in the Bible. That's not where you begin that. That's not the beginning of creation. It's not the beginning of all. And you're not the only ones. So if you've been told one time of another, and if you've been under the impression and believing all this whole time that you've been on the planet, that you are the only species that was created by God, as you say, by God. If you pardon my swaying because when I'm sitting here, if I'm talking and I'm just not even I don't even pay attention, the energy on this bed moves my body because I rise up and everything begins to move around in the whole room, energy everywhere, and the bed is moving and I'm moving. I'm sitting on it because I didn't have no where to do my recordings at. I tried doing it at a table, but that was I don't know. I have to keep working with it till I get it done. So I put to have everyone here to hear what I have to say. Those that's here in tuning into my video. So if you knows, but so anyway, you have to connect to God. So if you've been just thinking that you just been the only creation that was ever was, that's you, and you've lived that long in your life to believe that, well, you got to disbelieve that now. Now you got to start pulling off the blinders, taking off the earplugs, and start looking past what you have been told or been taught or been shown in one way. And here's another thing. Don't be afraid of information. Most people are afraid of information. It just blows me away. Why would you be afraid of information? It's entirely up to you to do what you want to do with it when you get it. And it's entirely up to you to know how to know what is and what isn't. How you gonna, you can't, if you refuse information, you're refusing your life, yourself. You refusing the energy of source. That's what I've been saying. Everything is source. Show me what that's not. Please, so I can see. Show me what's not source. And if you can tell me that, then you are smart. You way over. You better go back to source. But show me what's not, because everything is. That means you are too. And that means you are the source energy evolving as a humanoid or as a being that's incarnated inside of the body that you're in. The body, then you didn't, just because you came in that body and you was born in there, did you know who you were when you was in that little body? You may have knew because you're conscious when you're more younger, you remember things better. But you couldn't tell nobody. Same way that, they said about the death thing, which is not also true. But, Bible said in hell or wherever, so let me go back and tell them, what it's like so that they can know, because, give me one drop of water or whatever. But so, see, the Bible is written in metaphorical language, I would say, metaphoric language or literature, either way you want to look at it. And it's not that it's not true, because everything is true, but everything is not truth. And that's where you get tripped up at. So it's not that the Bible is not true, what's in it, but it's not all truth. And so you got truth, and to make it simple, you got lies and truth mixed together. Because you have come in and lived many lives outside the one you're living now, but you did not know that. You only thought that once you leave here, you die, you're dead, and the body's dead and everything. That's not so. The body's not you. You're not the body. You're conscious. You're a thought. That's all you are. You're a little thought in the conscious of source, being brought forth in the ways of source, that source is bringing forth itself in all the ways of energy. And yet, creating itself in every way that it can create itself, that it may see in itself, and see within the see and the seeing of itself. So that's what source has to do, see within the seeing of itself. And in all the thoughts that, imagine you being source, which you are, but you just a tiny little piece, a little thought, but yet you're still source. And it has been brought into this way of creation. So it's got many creations, because many thoughts. Can you imagine? Look at your little world that you live in. You really think it's big, don't you? It's not. It's not but a little bump on the road. in one sense. In one sense, life is so many different directions until you will have to have a lifetime to figure it out. Because as soon as you think you got it pretty much figured out, there's comes something else that you don't see that goes in that puzzle. It's missing. It's because this puzzle is really huge. It's big, and 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 so is source, and so are you, and so is everything. So imagine being able to have as much as source as you want. Source has given you the permission to do so because you're in a free will planet, and you have the free will to create your life any way you want to create it. Because source is sense. You have as much source as you choose, and less is source as you choose. It's your choice. Source is plentiful. So sources have of me of all that you can have that you will have of it and enjoy and make good of your life. And that is what you're supposed to do. Go and create, as the Bible tell you. Be fruitful and multiply. That's the same thing. Creating. You're creating. So go and create what? Create your life as you will. But you have not been conscious enough to do that over many years of years of years of years, a lot of them. Because I do not like to use these phrases that I'm going to use, but I have to use whatever there is in the language in order to break things down best that I can for your ears to hear and your heart to receive. So um, you you have lived many, many, many lives, and over the past 300 million years, I think, you have been living in this form of, of civilization as a humanity. You've been living like a upright, walking being, and you have evolved into um, many cycles of life. Yeah, and many cycles of life you have. You have evolved into many of them. And during those times you were evolving, you were not evolving on your own. You were programmed, being evolved in a way that the program wanted you to evolve. Okay? Yeah. So, because of that, it started your evolving back or into something that was uh, honorable, worthy, or that was in perfect way of it to present back to source, or to in order to give back to source. You don't give back to source like, here's source, I brought you, a good life here, even though you do now, you do that, but source is like a pay it forward type of energy. So source is like, you honor source when you honor your other self, which is your other neighbor or brother and then a sister and that's next to you or on the planet with you, whoever they may be. They don't have to be living next to you. They just, as long as they're on this planet and as long as they are human. There's many on here that's not human, so don't get them confused. There's some on here that's clones, plenty. Clones, you have been being cloned forever, for a long, long time. Many, I can't even tell you how long. you have been cloned. And when they brought it out into your uh, attention, though when I say they, I'm talking about a lot of days, so we do have plenty. So when they begin to tell you that science has found a way to clone, and they've been cloning. It's There've been some bad brothers and sisters, nieces, nephews, uncles, whole 9 yards. They've been doing a lot of things. So, um, and these things that I'm telling you about here with these different lives you've lived and different timelines and different time ways, and you have just you've been so many different people. You've been rich, you've been poor, you've been the queen, you've been the king, you've been everything. You really have. And you still that today. That's what you have been. Because you're still the conscious of source being evolved in every way and every how, every know, and every life, and every substance of energy that you can evolve your life inside of. Providing, of course, if you was um, aware within or without, and just being aware, period, enough to know that you could take in the source's energy and use it in all different ways that you wanted to use it in every manner of a way that you chose to use it in. If you was aware, uh, I don't think you were aware in a lot of a lot of times that you lived on this planet and every different life that you lived on this planet, because you've been programmed for a long time. Like I say, for like 300 million years, I believe it's been. So you have not had the the will to put the energy in any way that you want to operate in it or with it. Meaning your energy, um, bringing in the source's energy more, and using as much as you wanted to use of it that you wanted. Like say for instance, sources give you, I give you this portion here. I give to you, this is a part of me, which is the thought, which is who you are, and you're in the conscious. So, but source is saying, take this and make well of it, okay? And you were supposed to begin to operate with what you had, and then yet bring in more to exercise with what you have, which have been just thoughts. That's all they are. And yet you got dark, you got light, you got all different kinds. Nasty, if you want to call them nasty, evil. You got they so I mean those are the words I can find, but there's no evil, there's no nasty, because in source all is one whole. One, yeah, one whole, yeah, and it's a whole. So in source separates when source is um finished. I would say I have to, those are the words I can only find. But if source is finished, and that allowing, giving that thought the energy to evolve in the way that it would evolve in, and then say for instance if that energy was more evolved in a way where it did not no more fit into energy of the whole collective, because everything is done collective, guys. In the past, you have done separate. You was taught wrong. You weren't supposed to do things separate. Everything was supposed to be done collectively. When you vote, you're supposed to vote collectively, don't you? Don't you? But you're so divided when you're doing it. So how is that? You know, go in there and you all vote. That's collectively. They had a big date set up there. What if you didn't have no date? And y'all just had to remember it, that voting time was coming, and you start to look toward the west and look toward the east and make sure that you all get on board to make sure everybody is ready to do the voting and everything. But voting is wrong anyway, by the whole subject of it. Why are you voting? Voting for what? Because you can't get along. Vote. That's the thing you need to vote from. Why won't you vote anyway? I don't think voting is proper for life and peace and harmony and love. I think it needs to be a different language put in there. And I'm sure there is. I just haven't looked for it yet. Found it. So hope these things will be here, because I don't even know. I don't know. So uh, that's how you have these repeated lives, repeated lives and patterns. And you'll be and you do those patterns and you won't even know you're doing them. That's purgatory there when you doing patterns, repeated patterns. You still struggling around the paper. See, when you come in, you come in through darkness. You come in darkness, meaning your thoughts is not developed, because source only giving you that what you have, what source is giving you, and you're supposed to evolve as you grow from a child, and your parents supposed to have already the information to help you grow and evolve, and that you were supposed to evolve in according to where you're at in your bloodline, and that you have done in a lot of ways, as the way your mind is set, but you really haven't. It's been backwards, because yeah, I was just thinking about when you leave here, I was thinking about throwing that in. Oh, when you die, or whatever you call it, die. You don't die, because you're not. You're conscious, and you're source conscious, and the thoughts of a thought of source in the conscious of sources, and so as a conscious of source that you are, you come in and you've incarnated. Don't look that up. You don't know what it means. You got those phones, you got those laptops and computers, you got everything you need to bring this together, to know what's going on, to know why life is existing. You don't even know that. You never asked, did you? If you did, you got the wrong answer. Or you think because God created you, children, God's children. Which God? Because you got plenty. And when you say, oh, we ain't talking about what's the little God you talking about then? Well, do you know the little gods? Do they exist? Which big God? And see, you got a book. Who gave it to you? Where does your book originate from? You got to know that at least. And then you say King James. Well, where did he come from? Same way with your government. You're putting the government in to govern you, but who's governing him? Who's governing? Do you know what governing means? The word itself. Good grief! Come on. We gotta wake up, huh? Come on now. Let's not be so smart and not. What you gonna do? You gonna stay on the couch all your life and sleep? Mm-mm. Go to work for master, huh? What's master you working for? You got plenty of them. They're all masters. As long as you're not one of your own life, which you're supposed to be, but you're not, because you're not aware. How you gonna be? So I'm working on taking you back so you can come back, so you can find your your seed. And if you find your seed, then you'll know how to look for the rest of you. Then you're not lost. You're not lost. But as of now, then you pretty much is. And those that say they're awake, and those that is that even think they're awake, those that believe that they're awake, whatever. You're fine. You're doing well. I appreciate everything you're doing because you're really coming along just perfectly fine. And I'm very happy. But I need you to get more. Down here on the earth is fine. Yeah, they did it. They did it. And all you can do is point the finger. Y'all did this to us. Y'all did this to us. Why y'all do that? Why y'all think y'all getting away with it? Y'all ain't getting away. Y'all ain't y'all nowhere. Y'all is them. Really. So you're surprised. Yeah, right. Who you think you are? You don't die, remember? Nobody dies. You never die. You just get up out the body, which is a vehicle, and you go and get in another one. Yeah, immediately. One that's made for wherever you're going. And you travel on back out into an astral realm that's out there. And it's right here too. It's nowhere, really. It looks like a city just like yours that you're living in. It looks the same way. So they can live there forever and not even know it. Yeah, they just there waiting because they haven't figured it out. And a lot of them don't. They don't figure it out for a long time sometimes. But they got, the soul trap in there. The gates is tricky. And those gates is there to smarten you up. Because if you go in there and you just bow out of that from, in the church world, reading the Bible and thinking that heaven is waiting for you when you leave, well, you probably just go right on in there and walk through that gate with them lights in. And that's what the trick, honey. The lights is the trick. You are not to go through them lights gates because you're not ready. You're not ready. Okay. So you have to I have to put my finger on there. Forgive me for this here. This person, I tell you, these people, they get you going, and see, they don't want you to you're busy. I'm gonna cut it off, and then I'm not gonna keep my video going like this. So I'll be back here in a minute. Let me just not gonna go this way because this person. Oh my God. I'll be back. Yeah. So